Welcome back. This is a Chinese heat engine, or a Stirling engine. It's alive! It's alive! Oh, that's great! Named after a Scottish minister who tried to protect his congregation by building a safer engine than a steam engine. Follow along step-by-step instructions of how to build your own kit. Hi and welcome back. I've always wanted to build a mechanical model, a steam engine, but the Stuart models are very expensive and I really don't feel that I've got the skill with my lathe and hand tools to actually produce a decent model. I'd end up buying two of them and probably just making one. But this looks pretty easy. This is a Stirling model engine from China and costs under £30 and is all cast and no machining is necessary. So I thought we'd build it. Comes in a box, quality control, some pretty interesting instructions, and the parts. Now, my first impression is these parts are really well made. These are castings, some kind of alloy. They feel a bit like kind of cast iron, and they're really pretty straight. Flywheel. A very nice cast cylinder. You can see there. Somebody's put that together. It's drilled between. So this is a Stirling engine, so there's a hot side, and this is a heat sink for the second piston. So hot air expands, goes through, and then contracts, and hopefully we'll get a working engine. A little container for the fuel when we get to that, and bags of bits. Whoa, all seem nicely made. Some Allen keys as well to put it together. Great. This looks like the bearing. Good. A selection of Allen cap head screws. Good. This must be the piston, and it has a connecting rod in it. Yeah, it looks nicely made. And what's this? Oh, a bag of spare parts. Excellent. And oh, one more thing that I hadn't originally noticed. Oh, look at that. That's a wick, some kind of silicone seal, and lots of little plastic spacers and gaskets. Very good. So I think what I'll do is I'll put everything back in the box. And I guess we start with the base and the instructions, and we can sit down and build it together. So here's the parts list. 2 tetrafluoron gaskets. Well, I think I saw things like that. A mystery part. M3 top wire 3. No idea what those are. 4 M3 screws. I can guess what they are. 2 F4-9 bearings. No idea. 4 small plastic sets. A small axle, a sealing ring. Must be the flywheel. Must be the cylinder and piston and connecting rod, an alcohol wick, yeah, we saw that, and the base. So this whole thing is made by Star Power. Let me put my instructions up there, and you can see here it says Star Power, and there's a star and a crescent moon and a wing cast into this nicely made base. I don't think I'm going to paint this. I quite like this kind of gunmetal grey finish. As I said, it's This is my surface plate. It's not perfect. Maybe I'll give that a bit of a rub down. See if I can get that. It feels pretty good. It hasn't been, as I said, these castings haven't been machined. They look like they're just straight out of a cast, and they, well, that bearings surface has been reamed, and it's all been tapped and threaded. That one's not really in the center. See if that matters. All right, let's dig in and build it. Haha. Step one. Step one looks like you build this is the fuel tank for alcohol, and it looks like you put a seal in it, and the wick, and an M4, it says M46 hex bolt. It'd be good if there was a picture of the finished thing. No, there isn't. Anyway, I think we can find these bits in here. See what we have in this little bag. That really looks like the top of the fuel cover, and it has some plastic on the back. I wonder if that, I think you're supposed to take it off. Okay, so that's, yeah, that's interesting. So I think this is the top like this, and they've kind of polished it and put this protective blue film on to protect it. Wick, mounting screw, and a little air hole. Okay, that's good. Now somewhere, oh yeah, I saw the wick and the fuel tank gasket. I guess let's take them out. Ooh, this looks, it could be quite tricky. The wick and a very thin gaskety thingy. Ooh, it's stuck to the plastic bag because it's silicone and it's sticky. How am I going to get this out? There, maybe that's it. Dun dun dun. Is it going to come out? But the thing is, if it comes out, is it going to throw all the other little silicone parts everywhere? I think the answer is yes. No. Okay, good. So there's a very thin silicone gasket, which it seems to imply goes in there. This is the wick. So let me try and force it through there. No, I'm not doing so well with this. I've tried to make like a conical end. Oh yeah, there you go. Right, and the wick's going to go down there, and we need a screw. Here's my bag of screws. I'm guessing, only guessing, that it's going to use a silver one. We can try and see if it fits. Not sure. Okay, let me try with a, yeah, that fits nicely. And just snug. I guess that completes the fuel tank. I guess you undo that to put more fuel in it. I'll leave this Allen key out. Okay. Second step is put the, oh, let's orientate this so it's the same as the drawing. So it's orientated like that. Second step is to get the engine, the cylinders, and let's see, I'll show you the drawing. I'm doing this part. I guess it's like that, and it goes on like that. No, it goes on like that. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And I wonder, oh look, there's two other silver screws. I wonder if they are the ones for here. Yeah, it seems to fit. That seems to be that size of thread. Little bags, little bags, little bags. Oh, okay. I guess it's a little fiddly, but that's okay. Come on, Simon. Come on. Yeah. Well, the threads in the casting seem good. I'm just going to put them snug. You know. Ooh. So it won't fall over. Well, I think that completes part one. Ta-da! Base, fuel tank, cylinders, whatever. Part two. Part two is, well, I have to find these parts. It looks like I need the ZX distribution piston, the MZ distribution piston spindle, an M3 flat top silk. I think it's a flat, it's like a grub screw, and a very small socket. All right, what have we got? Well, that's the cylinder. I wonder if it's this thing. Is that it? Because it really looks like in the drawing that it ends in a conical end. But I don't see anything like that in the kit. Oh man. So the drawing and the kit are different. Tell me something new. So I'm now winging it. Is this the piston? Ah, no, no, Simon, you're wrong. That is not the piston. I think I've seen where I'm going wrong. I open the cylinder, which we don't need. This is the cylinder in here. Ta-da! Is the piston in the cylinder. Okay. Ooh, that's nicely made. Okay, so I need that. What else do I need? I need a connecting rod. Oh, I'm guessing that it's this. Oh yeah? So it's a connecting rod, and it seems to, it's slotted at the end with and drilled for a pin. And that looks like a threaded threaded hole, and this doesn't have any flats on it, so it could go anywhere. Fair enough. And we would need a small grub screw to go in the hole. Well, the only grub screws I see in the pack are in the box of spares, so we're already using our spares up. Bum, bum, bum. I'm going to have to tip these out because they're so small. My great worry here is if I drop anything on the workshop floor, it's effectively disappeared. Okay, so there's two. Oh man, there's a tiny. There's two grub screws. There's a one that I can see with the human eye and one that's so small it's ridiculous. I, of course, have no idea which one I need to use. I'm going to attempt putting the rest of these parts. There's a little tube. There's a washer that is like beyond microscopic. There's another microscopic washer. Oh man, I can't even pick it up. Oh yeah, good. My hands are sticky. A Allen key and two little pins. Okay, so I pop those back in the plastic baggie. And now what we have to do is work out which of these grub screws. Let's assume that it's the bigger one because it's easier to work with. And oh yeah, I got it upside down. Great. I mean, it has to fit in here flush, doesn't it? So if I screw it down, will it go flush? Oh, it looks like it might. Okay, so let's go with the bigger one, just because I can't be bothered to even think about working with that small one. Oh, I'm going to drop something on the floor, I know. Oh, no. And in here there's some tools, so maybe there's a really micro Allen wrench. God, that's like, you know, human hair sized. And I can tighten that up. No. Well, yeah, it's, oh dear. It's not, it's not flush with the piston. It's too long. It sticks out like 1/2 millimeter. Oh no, does that mean that I have to use the tiny one? I don't know. I could look at the instructions. Yeah, it does, like in the picture, it does look like the tiny one. But can I see where the big one's used? No. But I don't like that it sticks out. So let's dump the big one. Oh no, I have to get the tiny one out. Ba ba ba. Oh, so this is fun, but yeah, definitely you need to be good at working with fiddly, really fiddly parts. So if you enjoy working with tiny stuff, like, you know, not much bigger than, oh man, you would have if you were building a kind of a watch. Well, actually, I'm sure a watch is even smaller, but it feels like watch size to me. I'm just going to leave that one out for a second, just in case it's going to roll off. Okay, they're so small they kind of stick. Oh, how am I going to get that in there? Oh man. Don't drop it, don't drop it. If I drop this, it's basically gone forever. The floor of my workshop's pretty dirty. I should almost be sitting on a kind of a white sheet in case I launch this across the workshop and lose it forever. Oh yeah, well, I think I got it. So I'm putting that in. That's sat down under its own weight. And will it tighten up? Oh yeah? Right. That was almost fun. And the slightly bigger one, which I don't see as part of the instructions, goes back in the bag. And we can now swiftly move on to part 3. Okay, I need a socket wrench, some kind of sealing ring gasket, and some kind of flange, and the cylinder. There's the cylinder. I'm assuming that that's the flange, and I'm assuming those are the screws for it. And I did see the, yeah, here's the gasket they talk about. There's that big one, that's good. But it's sticky. Ugh. Okay. Back to the instructions. What do I have to do? Oh, it goes, hang on. It goes on, you have to turn this around. It goes on here. Very good. Alrighty. It looks like, alright, that the piston goes in there. We don't know the orientation of it. That cylinder goes on top with some kind of gasket, and then this is the flange. It's the parts. Oh, it's another shiny part with protective seal on it. Oh yeah, nice. Ugh. The back of it is a bit dirty. This doesn't matter. Yeah, so this is a nicely made part, and I'm guessing it goes on like so. Oh yeah, and it lines up. I'll have to get these in there. Right, move the instructions out of the way. That's too big. Aha. I'll start with an easy one. And all I'm doing is putting them in. Right, do not drop them. So I'm just starting them. This is relatively easy so far. As I said, I think the only difficulty could be if you've got like really giant hands. I think some of the parts are a bit small. So this flange squeezes the gasket to this kind of heatsink bit. And the last one. So squeeze. I'm not going to over tighten them, I'm just going to, I think all that it has to be is a airtight. I mean, it's not taking any pressure in here. Okay, that's my best guess. Oh, and I've used up a whole bag. Yay! All right, so let's assess where we got. The wick is way too big. We've now mounted this cylinder with a piston inside it, which seems to slide in and out. It will obviously need lubrication. There's a hole in it, and there's another one. Good. Well, I think we're doing quite well. I think I'm just going to take a break, and I'll be right back for part 2. Hey, and welcome back. So we've now put together the base, the fuel tank, the wick's sticking out way too much, the fuel tank seal. This is the main cylinders. This cylinder is now on with a gasket, and we have a piston with a piston rod. That's where we're at. And a box of very small parts for this Chinese metal heat engine, or Stirling engine. So moving on to part 4, and that is flywheel, bearings, and flywheel axle. Okay, well, flywheel's pretty easy to identify, but there's a pin comes out one side. Okay, good. And I believe that differently from the drawing, which shows bearings and a flywheel rod, I think they've kind of put it together for us. Oh no, no, I get it. They have, they've kind of slid it all together. So, that's right, this, oh, these are really nice. These are little bearings. Excellent. So I'm guessing you put a bearing in here. Ooh, let's see what kind of fit this is. Feels like it's going to be really great. I'm just struggling because it's so small. Let me put it on its side. I can tell that the fit is pretty well going to be perfect if only I can get it in there. Yeah, that's a really nice push fit. Oh. All right, so whoever made this and machined this did a good job. Bearings work great and they have a perfect interference fit into the main flywheel housing, and they rotate freely. Good. And the flywheel, so on this main crank axle there are flats, and they are 90 degrees apart. That makes sense. You'd think there would be a washer or something between there? No? All right. Okay, now I have to... I get to... I'm assuming that I get to use that long grub screw this time. Oh, it's so small. I'm going to bravely tip it out onto my workbench. It's so small it won't even come out. Got it. Oh man, tiny. I mean, look at that. All right. And I have to put it in there. I guess I need to know what is the Allen key for it. That one. Oh, that helps. If you put the grub screw on the Allen key, I'm just going to put that even because I don't know what I'm doing. That really helps. It will actually hold on to it. And again, I'm just putting everything, when I'm tightening things up, I'm just doing it what I call snug. So as soon as it stops, I'm pretty done. So again, I don't know what I'm doing really. I left a bit protruding from that side and a bit protruding from that side. Kind of got the feeling that this is going to have to line up with that. I don't think that's right. I think I need it all sticking out there, and that's flush with that. I think that looks like it makes more sense. Let me explain what I did. I made the axle flush-ish with the bearing, with the flywheel at that side, and made it stick out all this side, because I'm guessing I'm going to have to connect these two together. It still doesn't look like it's going to reach. Anyway, that spins nicely. Right. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 6. Aha. put on a eccentric on the other side. No, so again, this, as I said, it's milled with a flat. And I can see the two pins are 90 degrees apart. And now I'm going to try and get the other grub screw out of the tiny bag. I'm telling you, getting the things out of the bag so far has been the hardest thing. The instructions, although aren't super clear, because you kind of roughly know what you're building, and there's a picture, I think they're fine. I mean, I should imagine this whole thing will need tweaking. I mean, it's not talking about, see, there's play on that, so I think it's going to be really important that these two cranks are 90 degrees apart. This one is an aluminium turned part, not cast iron or whatever the material is the rest of it's made out of. So keep turning, and there's snug. Okay. So let's look at that. If I put that one vertical, that one is horizontal. So it's a 90-degree separation between these two, I guess. That has to be lined up with that, but we'll get onto that stage. Haha. Great. Great. Ooh, tetrafluoron gaskets, I think. And it says 2 of them. But does it mean 1 on either side or 2 on each side? And I've got the feeling that these are the dreadfully small, those tiny, these guys. Oh no, no, God. Look, there's a whole selection of different ones. Uh-huh. I mean, they really look the same. So there's like long ones, medium ones, and white ones. For some reason, oh, this is going to be a disaster. For some reason, and this is just like, I'm guessing here, folks, is I'm going to use the long ones. Oh no. I think I'm wrong. I think those are locking ones. I think it's the white ones. What's the best way to do this? I don't think there is a best way to do it. I bet you can't even see these. Look at these parts. Do not drop it. Do not. I did. I dropped it. Do not drop it again. I'm assuming... Oh, God. I'm assuming that this goes on here. And these... Well, I'm going to have to put them back in a bag because I'm just going to lose them. Well, let's look at the next step. Yeah. Okay, so this is like... Ooh, this looks a bit fiddly. This is like this part. Oh, and it's all going to roll on the floor. All right. No, I don't understand. That's not the part. That's not the part that I was thinking I was building. Oh, it is. All right. I take one of these cranks and the narrow end goes in here, and I have to get that. Oh man, I have to get this through it. Wow. I have no idea how to do this. I'm just like, as you can see, I'm just like, oh, guessing. Okay. And that, I'm assuming, goes, that this is a piston which goes in this cylinder. Right, and the end of it goes on this crank. Ooh, it's almost beginning to look like an engine. Look at that. And how do you fix this onto the crank? Say with one of these small plastic covers. Okay. I mean, I can't even show you the part, but it's like a little clear plastic sleeve. Oh man, that somehow I have to get over this crank pin. I can't even tell which is the open end, like that. No, I didn't go on though. Oh yeah. Okay. Next step. Other oh, this is going to be really tricky. But I guess I see the principle. What we're going to do is put this on here and in here, but putting this in here involves finding the crank pin, or a pin, not a crank pin, just a pin. And using the plastic covers. So it's like that, and like that. So there's a pin that goes on there. And somehow I have to get these plastic covers or locking bits on here. I think this could be the first impossible to do stage that I've come across. Oh, no doubt my big head's in the way now. I'm sorry about this. But I really have to concentrate. Oh. Okay. There's one. I see why they give you spares of these. Okay, this is the most difficult part, I think, of the whole build. Putting these on here. I'm assuming that this one goes on here to keep it on. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Fiddly. Dropped it. Okay, got it on. Maybe. No, fell off. Wrong way. Still the wrong way. Let's try the other one. Oh, so that was the first piece that actually fell on the floor, but it didn't. Oh. Oh, I thought I'd got it there. Oh, I launched it. I mean, I can't even show you what I'm doing because these are so small. They're just like a really thin piece of clear silicone pipe, roughly the same, or if not a little bit smaller diameter. Oh, I got it, I got it, I got it. Brilliant. Wow. Yeah. I mean, are we finished? Assembly requirement. After assembly, the angle between the two connecting rods is 90 degrees. Yeah. Well, that without lubrication looks like we're done. So left over is a bag of bits, an empty bag, some tools and no parts. Ooh, a grub screw, an empty bag, another empty bag, a tool, and an empty bottle for the alcohol. I'm guessing. That doesn't stand up. I guess in part 3 we will see if it runs. Well, welcome back. This is the finished engine built just as the parts. My observations are it's really well built. The only difficulty was putting on these little locking plastic bits. And here's the other thing that I don't like. This is floating and it's kind of rubbing against the flywheel. I've got the feeling it would be better to have put spacers in this piston on that pin to hold it equidistant. But that sounds really fiddly, so I'm not going to do that. So let's give it a try. So I'm taking off the fuel tank. Now fuel, I couldn't find anything, so my wife has 70% kind of medicinal rubbing alcohol. Good on her. And I'll put some in my bottle. Lots. And I'll close the lid and put that away. It smells like alcohol. And that doesn't stand up. That's quite annoying, it doesn't stand up. So I'll put it in my vise. Take off the lid. The gasket seems to stay with the lid, and fill up the tank with alcohol. Looks like 3/4 full. And put the wick in the alcohol. And the gasket just seems to work. And then put this Allen screw back. Hopefully it's a bit cockeyed there. And then hopefully this will give time for the alcohol to soak up the wick. Okay, that's snug and a bit more. I guess I don't want flames leaping out. And as I said at the beginning when I was building it, there's a little vent hole there, and I trimmed it, the wick, and I think I'm just going to move my lathe out of the way. I guess I don't want flames leaping over my mini lathe. I'm just going to wind the lathe back in the safe position. It's probably safe. I'm back with a lighter, a infrared thermometer, and an oil can. So let's put a tiniest drop. Oh, you see, that was a big drop. The tiniest drop of oil on anything that moves. Oh, this isn't a precision oiler. Yeah. And let's light it. Oh yeah. There's definitely flames. And so the flame is heating up this metal cylinder. I'm going to pick up the camera and hang on, folks, and you can see now that it's getting hot. Should we try it? It's alive! It's alive! Oh, that's great! It works really well. And so let's just see, the temperature on here is 303 Fahrenheit, and the temperature on here is 70. So there's a heat difference between the hot bulb and the cold bulb. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Seems to run really well. And this is a Chinese model Stirling engine, all cast ready for you to build.